Well, hey y'all, good morning or good afternoon, depending on when you're seeing this. Today is test day. You had your review last time. Um, so these are the expectations that we have when we do tests. These are posted on the sides of the walls, so it should be nothing new to you, but I just want to make sure all of this is clear. Um, Once the tests are out, your voice level needs to be at 0. If you need clarification on something, you can raise your hand. Work on this assignment. If you need to get up for any reason, just raise your hand. Let the sub know, just so you're not up for no reason. Make sure electronic devices and headphones are put completely away. Um, if they're out, that needs to result in the confiscation. Let's go into some of the stuff that the other classes asked about yesterday. So one thing that I constantly emphasized with quadratics is whenever you have domain, so the domain of this graph here, the domain is x equals all real numbers. Okay, so even when you come over to this one on the right, this x, the domain for this one, is going to be the same thing, all real numbers. And so really the only work you have to do is to find the range of these. Whenever you're finding range, so let's look at this one here. Let's assume this is 1, 2, 3. So let's assume this is 3 right here. The vertex of this graph is at 3. So, I should not have done this. So we start with that. We're going to say y is equal to 3. You start here. If I follow this graph this way, we're going down. So down is less than. It's going to be this symbol. Y is less than or equal to 3. Okay, coming over here, you're going to have y, and the line underneath, y is equal to, let's come and assume this is 1, 2, 3, let's assume that's negative 4. Negative 4. So start here at the vertex. In order to, if we start here and go with the graph, we're going upwards, upwards this way, all this stuff upwards. That's a greater than. So here's your range for that. Okay, that's domain and range. Pretty simple. Let's talk about transformations for a minute. So if you have, we talk about having A, C, and D transformations. So if we do this, A is the number outside the house here. So if that's 1, if this becomes negative, let's pull this up a little bit. If this A becomes negative, it goes downward. If this A increases in number, the graph becomes more narrow. If this A decreases in number, it becomes more wide. Okay, that's transformations. That's A. When we have D on the outside here, if you add 1, it goes up 1. If you add negative 1, it goes down 1. Hopefully that one's intuitive. That's the graphs, that's transformations. Let's come back over here to these types of terms. When you have standard, factored, and zeros, they're all the same thing, okay? Let's take a look at this. If you have the standard form like this, where that's x squared, this is where you do the x factor. Now, you won't always have to do this. Since you guys have multiple choice, this is not necessarily something you have to do, but this just lets you know they're all the same thing. So that's x plus 2 and x plus 5, which is the same thing as over here. Same thing as the factored form. If you multiply these two together, if you FOIL this, x times x is x squared, x times 5, I'll just go ahead and do this out for you. So that's x squared plus 5x, then you have 2 in x plus 2x, then you have 2 times 5, which is 10. It's the same thing as if you were to do the other one, 7x plus 10. And then zeros, going from zeros to factored form, you just flip them around. Flip the sign around, x plus 5. Flip this one around, x plus 2. These are all the same thing. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Let's come back over to these graphs. Let's talk about some of these functions on here. Some of these properties, sorry. So the properties, you have x-intercepts, you have y-intercepts, you have the vertex, which is the same thing as max and min. These terms, the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts, and the vertex, your calculator can do these for you. Let me just highlight these real quick. So the vertex, that is, I need to switch back to my brush. There we go. The vertex, that's this point right here. It's a maximum or it's a minimum, this point here. Oh, and the axis symmetry, I'll talk about that one too. The y-intercept. This one you can't see it. It's going to go on, be somewhere down here. This one you can see it. Y-intercept's right here. The x-intercept, that's going to be these 2 points here and these 2 points here. Okay, I will show you the calculator shortcut to get all this stuff. The other thing is the axis of symmetry. When you're looking for the axis of symmetry, axis of symmetry, that's the line that cuts down the middle of the graph. That one right there. That one right there. And it's the x value of the vertex. Okay, so when you do that, here's the shortcuts for that. I believe on most of your calculators, those shortcuts are menu, oops, that's menu 3, 1 for graphing it. That's a 1. And over here, this is once you have the graph, so that gets you this. And then finding the properties, which are the, again, they're the x-intercepts, the y-intercept, and the vertex. This is how you do that. You go into menu, trace, which is usually 5, and graph traces, which is 1. You can write these on the board so that you can have that for reference for the test. But really, that's all I have for you guys. If you want to watch the video again, you have some time. If you want to go back over it before the test, your review that you got last time, the single sheet, is due before the test starts. Yeah, good luck, guys. It's star prep from here on out. So yeah, have fun.